"Man, don't dare me." A fearless waitress speaks those words to the most dangerous Italian mafia boss in the city. What begins as defiance quickly turns into a game of power, survival, and consequences no one saw coming. One warning, one choice, a life that can never go back. If you're new here, subscribe and comment your location. Now let's begin. Table 6 needs their check, Nina, and Table 3 has been waiting 15 minutes for their carbonara. Nina Ricci grabbed 3 plates in one hand and 2 in the other, balancing them like she'd been doing since she was 14. The dinner rush at Ricci's Italian kitchen was always chaos, but tonight felt worse. The air conditioning was broken again. Her feet hurt, and the man at table 8 kept snapping his fingers at her like she was a dog. She delivered the plates, smiled at the customers, and headed back to the kitchen. Her phone buzzed in her apron pocket. Another text from the hospital. She didn't need to read it to know what it said. More bills, more treatments, more money she didn't have. "Nina, table 8 wants to speak to a manager." Her father's voice came from the kitchen, stressed and tired. Of course they did. The finger-snapping man probably wanted to complain about something ridiculous. Nina took a deep breath and walked over to table 8 with her best customer service smile. "How can I help you, sir?" The man looked her up and down in a way that made her skin crawl. "This pasta is cold, and the service here is terrible. You've ignored us all night." Nina had checked on them 3 times. She'd refilled their water twice, but arguing with customers never worked. "I apologize, sir. Let me get you a fresh plate right away." "I don't want a fresh plate. I want it for free." "I'll speak to my manager about a discount." "I said free, or I'll make sure everyone knows this place serves garbage." He smirked at his friends. They all laughed. Something inside Nina snapped. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was thinking about her mother lying in a hospital bed while she dealt with entitled jerks. Maybe it was the way he looked at her like she was nothing. "Sir, the pasta was hot when I brought it to you 10 minutes ago. You were too busy talking to eat it. That's not our fault. You'll pay for your meal like everyone else, or you can leave." The table went quiet. The man's face turned red. "Excuse me, do you know who I am?" "I don't care who you are. Pay your bill or get out." Her father appeared beside her, his face pale. "Nina, I'm so sorry, sir. She's had a long day. Please, your meal is on the house." "Dad, no." "Nina, go to the back, now." She wanted to argue, but the look on her father's face stopped her. She walked to the kitchen, her hands shaking with anger. Through the door, she heard her father apologizing over and over. 2 hours later, after the restaurant closed, her father sat her down at one of the tables. He looked older than usual, tired, scared. "Nina, we need to talk." "If this is about table 8, I'm not apologizing." He was. "It's not about that." Her father rubbed his face. "It's about your mother and the restaurant and everything." Nina's stomach dropped. "What happened? Is Mom okay?" "She needs another surgery. The doctors say it's urgent. But Nina, we're out of money. The restaurant is barely surviving. I've taken out loans. I've borrowed from everyone I know. We have nothing left." "I'll get another job. I'll work more hours. We'll figure it out." "There's another option." Her father wouldn't look at her. "I've been approached by someone who can help us." "Who?" "The Santoro family." Nina froze. Everyone in their neighborhood knew that name. The Santoros weren't just wealthy. They were powerful, connected, dangerous. People whispered about them in careful voices. The kind of family you didn't cross, ever. "Why would the Santoros help us?" Her father finally looked at her, and his eyes were full of guilt. "They want something in return. They need a marriage alliance with you." The words didn't make sense at first. Nina laughed. "That's insane. Why would they want to marry into our family? We have nothing." "They need someone clean, someone with no criminal connections, someone respectable. It's political. They're trying to legitimize their business dealings." Her father reached for her hand. She pulled away. "Nina, they'll pay for everything. Your mother's surgery, all her treatments. They'll save the restaurant. We'll have enough money to live comfortably for years." "You're selling me." The words came out flat. emotionless, because if she let herself feel anything, she'd scream. I'm saving our family. Your mother will die without this surgery. The restaurant will close. We'll lose everything. Her father's voice broke. I have no choice. I have no choice, you mean? You already agreed, didn't you? Nina stood up. Her chair scraped against the floor. You sold me without even asking. Nina, please. Who is it? Who am I supposed to marry? His name is Marco Santoro. Don Luca Santoro's son. He's young, educated. They say he's kind. They say, Nina laughed bitterly. And when is this wedding supposed to happen? There's an engagement dinner tomorrow night, just to meet the family, make it official. Tomorrow, you've really thought this through, haven't you? She grabbed her jacket. I need air. Nina, wait. But she was already out the door, walking fast through the dark streets. She didn't know where she was going. She just needed to move, to think, to breathe. Her phone buzzed again. Another hospital bill. $60,000 for the last round of treatments. And her mother needed surgery that would cost twice that much. Nina sat down on a bench and put her head in her hands. What choice did she have? Let her mother die. Let her father lose everything he'd worked for. All because she was too proud to marry some rich man she'd never met. She thought about her mother's smile, the way she used to dance in the kitchen while cooking, how she'd gotten so thin now, so pale, how she apologized every time Nina visited because she felt guilty about the bills. I'm sorry, Mom, Nina whispered to the empty street. I'm so sorry. The next night, Nina stood in front of her closet in the dress her father had bought her. It was expensive, beautiful, nothing like her usual clothes. She looked like someone else, someone who belonged at fancy dinners with dangerous families. The restaurant was closed for the engagement dinner. The Santoros had rented the entire place. Nina watched from the kitchen as black cars pulled up outside. Men in expensive suits got out first, looking around like they were checking for threats. Then the family arrived. She recognized Don Luca Santoro immediately. He was in his 50s, tall, with gray hair and a face that looked like it had seen too much. A long scar ran from his temple to his jaw. He moved like someone who'd never been afraid of anything in his life. But Marco wasn't with him. Nina's father greeted them nervously, shaking hands, showing them to the best table. The Don's eyes swept the restaurant and landed on Nina standing in the kitchen doorway. Is that her? His voice was deep, cold. Yes, Don Santoro, my daughter Nina. Her father gestured for her to come forward. Nina walked out slowly. She promised herself she'd be polite, respectful. She'd get through this dinner, save her mother, and figure out the rest later. But something felt wrong. The Don was staring at her with an expression she couldn't read, and Marco still wasn't there. Where's your son? Nina asked before she could stop herself. The room went silent. Her father's face went white. Nobody questioned the Don, ever. But Don Luca just smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Direct, I like that. Sit down, Miss Ricci. We have things to discuss. Nina sat. Her father sat beside her, looking like he might pass out. The Don sat across from them, flanked by two large men who didn't speak, didn't smile, just watched. My son Marco is dead, the Don said simply. He was killed 3 months ago in a hit by a rival family. Nina's father made a strangled sound. Don Santoro, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Of course, under these circumstances, we understand if you want to cancel the arrangement. I don't want to cancel it. The Don kept his eyes on Nina. I need this alliance. The marriage will go forward. But Marco, her father stammered. She'll marry me instead. The words hung in the air like a bomb. Nina stared at the Don, at this man who was probably 20 years older than her. This scarred, cold, dangerous man who looked at her like she was a business transaction. Absolutely not. The words came out before Nina could think. Her father grabbed her arm. Nina, please. I agreed to marry your son, some guy my age, not you. She met the Don's eyes, refusing to look away even though her heart was pounding. No offense, but you're old enough to be my father. One of the men beside the Don moved forward. Her father was shaking. but the Don held up his hand. "You have spirit. Good. I've had enough of weak women." He leaned back in his chair. "Here's the situation, Miss Ricci. Your mother needs surgery urgently. Your father owes money to people who won't wait much longer. This restaurant will close by the end of the month. You have no options." "There's always an option." "Not ones you'd like." His voice got quieter, more dangerous. "I could call in your father's debts right now. I could make sure your mother never gets her surgery. I could burn this restaurant to the ground. Or you could marry me and everyone gets what they need." "That's not a choice. That's a threat." "Yes, it is." He smiled again. "Your father accepted a deal with my family. That deal will be honored. The only question is whether you make this easy or difficult." Nina felt tears burning behind her eyes, but she refused to cry. Not in front of him, not in front of anyone. "And what do you get out of this? Why do you need to marry someone like me?" "I need a wife who looks good in photos, who can attend charity events and smile for the cameras, who can make my family look legitimate, respectable." He said the word like it tasted bad. "My first wife understood her role. She was obedient, quiet. She did what she was told." Something about the way he said it made Nina's blood boil. "Let me guess. You want to train me to be just like her? A pretty decoration who doesn't talk back." "Exactly." "Then you're marrying the wrong woman." Nina stood up. Her father tried to pull her back down, but she shook him off. "I'm not some dog you can train. I have opinions. I have a voice. And I won't spend my life pretending to be something I'm not just because you're scary." The Don stood too. He was much taller than her, much bigger. Up close, she could see the violence in his eyes, the danger. This was a man who'd killed people, who ordered deaths, who could make her disappear without a second thought. "Sit down." His voice was soft, deadly. "Man, don't dare me." Nina crossed her arms. "You want this marriage? Fine. My mother needs that surgery, but I won't be your quiet little puppet. I'll make your life so miserable you'll beg me for an annulment within a month. I'll question every order. I'll speak my mind at your business meetings. I'll embarrass you in front of your whole family. You think you're getting a respectable wife. You're getting a nightmare." The silence that followed was absolute. Her father looked like he was having a heart attack. The two guards had their hands inside their jackets, probably on their guns, and the Don was staring at her with an expression she couldn't read. Then he laughed, actually laughed. It was a harsh sound, like he'd forgotten how. "You have fire, I respect that." He extended his hand. "Deal, we marry, you try to make me miserable, and we'll see who breaks first." Nina wanted to refuse his handshake, wanted to spit in his face and walk out, but her mother's pale face flashed in her mind. The hospital bills, her father's desperate eyes. She shook his hand. His grip was strong, warm. "Don't say I didn't warn you." "I never do." He released her hand. "The wedding is in 2 weeks. My people will handle the arrangements. You'll move into my house the day after. Your mother's surgery is already scheduled for tomorrow morning. Top doctors, best hospital. She'll have everything she needs." He turned and walked toward the door. His guards followed. At the doorway, he looked back at Nina. "One more thing, Miss Ricci. In my world, we have rules. You can speak your mind to me. You can fight with me. You can try to make my life hell. But you will show respect to my family in public. You will not embarrass me in front of my men. And you will never, ever betray me. Break those rules and there will be consequences. Understood?" "Understood." Nina lifted her chin. "Do you have rules too, or do you just get to do whatever you want?" His smile was sharp. "I'm starting to think this marriage won't be boring after all. Good night, Miss Ricci. I'll see you at the altar." After he left, Nina's father collapsed into a chair. "Are you insane? Do you have any idea what you just did?" "I saved Mom. Isn't that what you wanted?" Nina's hands were shaking now that the adrenaline was fatting. "You threatened a Mafia boss. You told him you'd make him miserable. Nina, he could kill you for that kind of disrespect. Then he shouldn't have blackmailed me into marrying him." She grabbed her jacket. "Mom's surgery is tomorrow. I'll be at the hospital. You can handle the wedding planning since you're so good at making decisions for me." She left before her father could respond. Outside, the cold air hit her face. What had she done? She just agreed to marry one of the most dangerous men in the city. A man who looked at her like she was property. A man who wanted to train her like a pet. But the alternative was watching her mother die, losing everything. And Nina Ricci had never been good at accepting defeat. If Don Luca Santoro thought he was getting an obedient mafia wife, he had another thing coming. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. Nina's mother had her surgery. It went well. The doctors said she'd need months of recovery, but she'd live. She'd actually live. Nina cried in the hospital bathroom for 20 minutes when she heard the news. Her mother didn't know about the marriage yet. Nina couldn't tell her. Couldn't explain that she was marrying a stranger to pay for the surgery. Her father said they'd tell her after she was stronger. The wedding preparations were handled by the Santoro family. Nina didn't have to do anything except show up for a dress fitting. The dress was beautiful, expensive, white silk that fit her perfectly. She looked like a princess in a fairy tale. Except this wasn't a fairy tale. This was a business deal with a dangerous man who scared everyone around him. The night before the wedding, Nina couldn't sleep. She lay in her small bedroom, staring at the ceiling, wondering what her life would be like tomorrow. Would he expect her to share his bed immediately? Would he hurt her if she refused? Would he follow through on his threats if she stepped out of line? Her phone rang, unknown number. Hello? Miss Ricci, it's Luca Santoro. Nina sat up. It's almost midnight. What do you want? Just checking if you've changed your mind. It's not too late to run. I'd find you, of course, but I'd respect the effort. I'm not running. No, most women would. I'm not most women. Nina wrapped her blanket around herself. Why are you calling me? Wanted to hear your voice. Remind myself what I'm getting into tomorrow. He sounded amused. Are you scared, Miss Ricci? Terrified, but I don't run when I'm scared. I get angry. Good, fear is boring, anger is interesting. He paused. I won't hurt you. I want you to know that. I'm not a good man. I've done terrible things, but I don't hurt women, especially not my wife. Is that supposed to make me feel better? It's supposed to be the truth. Take it however you want. Another pause. Get some sleep. Tomorrow, going to be a long day. He hung up before she could respond. Nina stared at her phone, confused. That was almost considerate, maybe even kind, which made no sense from a man who'd blackmailed her into marriage. The wedding was small, just immediate family and the Don's closest associates. Nina walked down the aisle of a private chapel in her silk dress, her father beside her crying quietly. The Don waited at the altar in a black suit, his face expressionless. When she reached him, he took her hand. His touch was surprisingly gentle. The ceremony was short, traditional vows that felt meaningless given the circumstances. When the priest said, "You may kiss the bride," the Don leaned in and pressed a quick, impersonal kiss to her lips. "Welcome to the family, Nina Santoro," he whispered against her mouth. The reception was at his estate. Nina had never seen anything like it. The house was massive, old money and new power combined. There were guards everywhere, men in suits who nodded respectfully to the Don and looked at Nina with curiosity. She was introduced to his family. His mother, who looked her over with cold disapproval. His sister, who seemed bored by the whole thing. His various cousins and associates who shook her hand and murmured congratulations that sounded more like condolences. The only one who seemed genuinely warm was an older woman named Rosa, who ran the household staff. "Don't let them intimidate you, dear," Rosa whispered while fixing Nina's veil. "The Don needs someone with backbone. His first wife was too soft, too scared. It destroyed her." "What happened to her?" Nina asked quietly. Rosa's face went sad. "Cancer, 3 years ago. He loved her in his way, but this life, it's hard on gentle souls. You seem stronger." "I'm terrified." "Good, terror keeps you sharp." Rosa patted her arm. "Now go dance with your husband. He's been watching you all night." Nina looked across the room. The Don was indeed watching her, his expression unreadable. When their eyes met, he stood and walked over. "Dance with me." It wasn't a question. Nina let him lead her to the dance floor. His hand on her waist was possessive, claiming. They moved together in silence for a minute. "You're thinking very loudly," he said finally. "I'm thinking about how I ended up here, married to a man I don't know, living in a world I don't understand. Having regrets. Regrets, no, but I have questions. Such as, what happens now? Do you expect me to just play house, smile and nod and pretend this is a real marriage?" His hand tightened on her waist. "I expect you to be yourself. That's why I accepted your challenge. If I wanted a scared, obedient wife, I would have found someone else." "So you actually want me to make you miserable?" "I want you to try." His eyes met hers. "I've been bored for a long time, Nina. Everyone around me is afraid. They say yes to everything. They never challenge me, never question me. It's exhausting. But you looked me in the eye and threatened me. That's refreshing." "You're insane." "Probably." He spun her, pulling her closer when she came back. "But so are you, who threatens a mafia boss and expects to live. Someone who has nothing left to lose. You have your mother, your father, the restaurant. You have plenty to lose." His voice dropped. "And now you have me, whether you like it or not." The song ended. He released her but didn't step away. "Come, I'll show you your room." "My room, not our room." "You'll have your own space. I won't force myself on you." He started walking. Nina followed. "When and if we share a bed, it will be your choice." They walked through hallways decorated with expensive art, up a grand staircase, down another long corridor. He opened a door to a bedroom that was bigger than Nina's entire apartment. "This is yours. There's a bathroom through that door, a closet through the other one. Rosa will help you settle in tomorrow." He paused in the doorway. "My room is at the end of the hall if you need anything." "That's it. You're just leaving." "What did you expect? For me to throw you on the bed and have my way with you?" His smile was sharp. "I told you, I'm not that kind of man. Good night, Nina." He closed the door, leaving her alone in the massive room. Nina sat on the edge of the bed, her mind spinning. This wasn't what she'd expected at all. He was confusing. Dangerous one moment, almost kind the next, threatening her family, then giving her space. She changed out of her wedding dress into pajamas someone had left for her. They were silk, expensive, nothing like her usual clothes. Everything in this room was expensive. The furniture, the art on the walls, even the pajamas probably cost more than she made in a month. Nina lay down in the huge bed and stared at the ceiling. She was married to a mafia boss. This was her life now. Tomorrow, she'd figure out how to survive it. The next morning, Nina woke up disoriented. The bed was too soft. The room was too big. Sunlight streamed through windows she didn't recognize. Then she remembered. The wedding, the dawn, her new life. There was a knock on the door. Rosa entered carrying a breakfast tray. "Good morning, Mrs. Santoro. The Don requested you join him for breakfast in 30 minutes. I brought coffee and pastries to tide you over." Mrs. Santoro. The name sounded wrong. Nina sat up. "Where is he?" "His office. He's been awake since 5. He doesn't sleep much." Rosa set the tray on the bed. "Take your time getting ready. I've laid out clothes in your closet. The Don wants to introduce you to the household staff this morning." After Rosa left, Nina ate the pastries mechanically. They were delicious but tasted like dust. She showered in the massive bathroom with its marble counters and gold fixtures. In the closet, she found dozens of new clothes, designer labels, expensive fabrics, all in her size. He'd been planning this for a while, longer than 2 weeks, which meant he'd known about her before the engagement dinner, had researched her, prepared for her. That should have been creepy. Somehow it just made her angry. He'd orchestrated everything while making her think she had a choice. Nina chose the simplest outfit she could find, dark jeans and a sweater. If he wanted a fancy mafia wife, he'd be disappointed. She was still herself. Still Nina Ricci, waitress and fighter. The new last name didn't change that. She found her way downstairs following the sound of voices. The kitchen was enormous, restaurant-sized. Rosa was directing several staff members in preparing food. They all stopped and stared when Nina entered. "Mrs. Santoro," Rosa said warmly. "The Don is in his office, down the hall, 3rd door on the left." Nina walked through the house, taking in details. Armed guards at every entrance. Expensive security systems, thick doors. This wasn't just a home, it was a fortress. She knocked on the office door. "Come in." The Don sat behind a massive desk, papers spread in front of him. He looked up when she entered. His eyes traveled over her outfit, one eyebrow raised. "Good morning, I see you found the wardrobe." "I found the costume department. I picked the least ridiculous option." Nina closed the door behind her. "You wanted to see me." "Sit," he gestured to a chair across from his desk. "We need to discuss how this will work." Nina sat. "I thought we already had an arrangement. I make you miserable, you try to break me. We see who wins." "Yes, but there are still rules, boundaries." He leaned back in his chair. "In public, you will be respectful. You will stand beside me at events. You will smile for photos. You will act like a dutiful wife." Act being the key word. "Exactly, I don't care what you really think. I care what people see." His voice was matter of fact. "In private, you can say whatever you want, fight with me, challenge me, but outside this house, you represent the Santoro family. That means control, composure, respect. And if I refuse, then your mother's medical care stops, the restaurant closes, your father loses everything." He said it calmly, like he was discussing the weather. "I'm not trying to be cruel, Nina. I'm explaining reality. You made a deal. I expect you to honor it." Nina's hands clenched in her lap. "You're a bastard." "Yes, but I'm an honest bastard. I told you exactly what this was from the beginning." He stood and walked around the desk. "Now, today you'll meet the household staff. Rosa will show you how things run. Tomorrow you have your first public appearance with me, a charity gala. Rosa will help you prepare." "I don't know how to act at galas." "You'll learn, you're smart, you'll figure it out." He stopped in front of her. "Any questions?" "What happens if someone from your world tries to hurt me? Your enemies?" His face went cold, hard. "Then they die slowly, painfully. No one touches what's mine." "I'm not yours." "Legally, you are, and in my world, that's all that matters." He offered his hand to help her stand. "Come, let's introduce you to your new life." The rest of the day was overwhelming. Rosa showed her the house, 30 rooms, indoor pool, private gym, library, wine cellar, guard stations, panic rooms. It was a mansion and a military base combined. The household staff was small but efficient. A cook, 2 housekeepers, a driver, 3 gardeners, and the security team, which changed shifts but always numbered at least 6 men. They all called her Mrs. Santoro. They all looked at her with curiosity and pity. Nina hated it. That night, she ate dinner alone in the formal dining room. The Don had business. She sat at one end of a table that could seat 20, picking at food she couldn't taste. This was her life now, luxury and loneliness. She was clearing her plate when the Don appeared in the doorway. He'd changed into casual clothes, jeans and a t-shirt. Without the suit, he looked almost normal, almost human. "How was your day?" he asked. "Fantastic. I love being shown around my prison." Nina stood. "If you'll excuse me, I'm tired." "Sit down. I'll keep you company." "I don't want company." "Too bad. Sit." His voice hardened, not quite in order, but close. Nina sat. "What do you want?" He took the chair beside her instead of at the head of the table. Close, too close. "I want to know what you're thinking. You've been quiet all day. That's not like you." "How would you know what's like me? You don't know me." "I know you talked back to me the first time we met. I know you threatened me at our engagement dinner. I know you chose the plainest clothes you could find this morning just to spite me." He smiled slightly. "You're rebellious, stubborn, honest to the point of stupidity, so the quiet act means something's wrong." "Everything's wrong. I'm married to a stranger, living in a house that feels like a museum, playing a role I never auditioned for." Nina met his eyes. "But you don't actually care. You're just making sure your investment doesn't break down before the first public appearance." "You're angry. Good. Anger I can work with." He leaned back. "Ask me anything. One honest answer, no games." Nina considered. There were so many questions, but one stood out. "Why me? Really? You could have found dozens of women willing to marry you for money, women who'd play the role perfectly. Why force someone who clearly doesn't want this? The Don was quiet for a long moment. My first wife, Maria, was perfect, beautiful, obedient. She never questioned me, never fought with me. She was exactly what a mafia wife should be. His voice got softer, sadder. And it killed her, not the cancer. That just finished what years of fear and stress started. She was terrified every day, terrified of me, of my world, of making mistakes. She smiled for the cameras and cried in private. I didn't realize how bad it was until it was too late. He looked at Nina. When I saw you at your restaurant, yelling at that customer, I saw someone who couldn't be broken by fear. You were angry, not scared. And when you threatened me at the engagement dinner, I knew you survive this life because you fight, you don't collapse. So I'm supposed to be grateful. You married me because I'm tough enough to handle your world. No, you're supposed to understand that I need someone strong, someone real, not another fragile thing that'll shatter. He stood. Finish your dinner, tomorrow's a long day. He left before Nina could respond. She sat alone in the dining room, his words echoing in her head. His first wife had been destroyed by this life, by him, and now he'd trapped Nina in the same situation. But Nina was Maria. She wouldn't break, she'd survive. And maybe, just maybe, she'd find a way to escape. The next evening, Rosa helped Nina prepare for the charity gala. The dress was stunning. Midnight blue that hugged her curves, diamonds at her throat and ears. Her hair was styled in elegant waves. She looked like someone else, someone who belonged in this world. You look beautiful, Mrs. Santoro, Rosa said, stepping back to admire her work. Nina stared at her reflection. I look like a stranger. You look like a woman who can handle anything. Rosa squeezed her shoulder. The Don is waiting downstairs. He was standing in the foyer in a black tuxedo, looking at his phone. When Nina appeared at the top of the stairs, he looked up. His expression changed, softened. For just a moment, he looked at her like she was actually beautiful, not just presentable. You clean up well, he said when she reached him. So do you, almost human. Nina accepted his offered arm. What do I need to know about tonight? Smile, be polite, don't discuss business. If anyone asks personal questions, deflect. They walk to the waiting car. And stay close to me. Some of the families attending aren't friendly. Dangerous. Potentially, but they won't try anything at a public event, too many witnesses. He helped her into the car. Just follow my lead. The gala was at an upscale hotel ballroom. Hundreds of people in expensive clothes drinking expensive champagne. Nina recognized some faces from news reports, politicians, business leaders, and others she suspected were from the Don's world, the dangerous world. She stayed beside him as he worked the room, shaking hands, making small talk, playing the role of respected businessman, and Nina played her role too, smiling, nodding, laughing at appropriate moments. But she noticed things, the way certain people looked at the Don with fear, the way conversations stopped when he approached, the subtle nods and signals between his men positioned around the room. This wasn't just a charity event, it was a show of power. You're doing well, the Don murmured during a break between conversations. Natural performer. I've been serving customers since I was 14. I know how to fake smile. Nina accepted a champagne glass from a passing waiter. How much longer? Another hour. Then we can leave. But 20 minutes later, everything changed. A man approached them, middle-aged, expensive suit, cold eyes. Two large men flanked him. Luca, I didn't expect to see you here. The man's smile didn't reach his eyes. The Don's arm around Nina's waist tightened. Marco, I could say the same. Marco, Nina recognized the name. Marco Vital, head of a rival family. The Don had mentioned him before as dangerous, unpredictable. Marco's eyes slid to Nina. And this must be your new wife. I heard you remarried. Quick turnaround after Maria. Nina, this is Marco Vital, an old business associate. The Don's voice was carefully neutral. Marco, my wife. Pleasure. Marco took Nina's hand and kissed it. His touch made her skin crawl. Tell me, Mrs. Santoro, how does a waitress from Queens end up married to a man like Luca? Must be quite a story. Nina felt the Don tense beside her. This was a test, an insult disguised as curiosity. Marco was implying she was beneath them, that the Don had married down. She could play safe, deflect like the Don had told her, or she could be herself. Love works in mysterious ways, Nina said sweetly. And actually, I'm from Brooklyn. Queens is too pretentious for my taste. Marco blinked, then laughed. She's got spirit, I like that. Does she know what you really do, Luca? Or does she still think you're a legitimate businessman? I know exactly what he does. Nina stepped forward slightly. The Don's hand tried to hold her back, but she ignored it. I know he's dangerous. I know his business is complicated. I know people like you spend a lot of time trying to undermine him because you're threatened by his success. Did I miss anything? The temperature in the room dropped. Marco's smile vanished. His men moved closer. Around them, people started noticing the confrontation. Careful, little girl. You're speaking to people you don't understand. Marco's voice went cold. I understand perfectly. You're trying to intimidate me to get to him. It's obvious. Boring, actually. I expected more creativity from someone with your reputation. Nina shrugged. But I guess some people rely on fear because they have nothing else. Marco's face flushed red. You disrespectful. The Don stepped between them. His voice was quiet, deadly. Finish that sentence, Marco, I dare you. The two men stared at each other. The entire ballroom had gone silent. Nina could feel violence hovering in the air like electricity before a storm. Then Marco stepped back. Your wife has a mouth on her, Luca. You should teach her manners before she says the wrong thing to the wrong person. My wife can speak however she wants. Anyone who has a problem with that has a problem with me. The Don's hand found Nina's waist again, possessive and protective. And we both know how those problems get resolved. Marco's eyes flicked between them. Then he smiled, cold and threatening. Enjoy your evening, Mrs. Santoro. I'm sure we'll meet again. He walked away. His men followed. Gradually, conversation resumed around them, but Nina could feel people staring, whispering. The Don leaned close to her ear. We're leaving, now. He guided her through the crowd toward the exit. His grip on her arm was firm, but not painful. Nina could feel the tension radiating from him. In the car, he didn't speak, just stared out the window, his jaw tight. Are you angry? Nina finally asked. Angry, he turned to look at her. I told you to deflect personal questions, to be polite, to not discuss business. You did the exact opposite. He was insulting me, insulting you. Was I supposed to just stand there and take it? Yes, that's exactly what you were supposed to do. His voice rose. Do you have any idea what you just did? You embarrassed Marco Vital in front of his peers. He can't let that stand. He'll retaliate. Good, let him try. This isn't a game, Nina. These people kill for disrespect. You just painted a target on your back. He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. I brought you to that gala to show unity, strength. Instead, you started a war. I defended us. I showed that we're not afraid of people like him. Nina crossed her arms. You wanted someone who wouldn't break. Well, I don't break, I fight back. The Don stared at her. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. It was a harsh sound. You're going to get yourself killed. And probably me along with you. But you're not bored anymore, right? He shook his head, still laughing slightly. No, I'm definitely not bored. They rode the rest of the way in silence. At the house, the Don went straight to his office. Nina went to her room and changed out of the dress. She felt alive, energized. She stood up to a dangerous man and survived. But an hour later, Rosa knocked on her door. Mrs. Santoro, the Don wants to see you in his office. Nina found him at his desk, a glass of whiskey in hand. He looked tired, older. Sit, he said. She sat. I need you to understand something. He set down his glass. What you did tonight was brave. Stupid, but brave. Marco will come after you now, after us. He has to. His reputation demands it. Then we'll deal with it. We will. But Nina, when people come after you in my world, they don't send strongly worded letters. They send bullets. Bombs, they hurt people you care about to hurt you. His eyes met hers. Your mother, your father, they're targets now because of tonight. Fear gripped Nina's chest. You said they'd be safe. That was part of the deal. They were safe when no one cared about you. Now you've made yourself important, interesting, dangerous. He stood and walked around the desk. I'll protect them. I'll protect you. But you need to be smarter, more careful. I won't apologize for defending us. I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm asking you to think before you act. He sat on the edge of the desk in front of her. You're my wife now. That means when you take risks, I pay the price too, and everyone connected to us pays it. Nina stood. They were close now. She could see the scar on his face up close, could see the worry in his eyes. Then teach me. Show me how to survive in your world without losing myself. He studied her face. You really aren't afraid of anything, are you? I'm terrified, but I learned a long time ago that showing fear just invites more pain. She met his eyes. So teach me. Help me be strong enough for this life. Something shifted in his expression, softened. All right, starting tomorrow you train self-defense, weapons, situational awareness. If you're going to be in this world, you'll know how to survive it. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. The training won't be easy. He reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. The gesture was surprisingly gentle. You surprised me tonight. Not many people do that. Good. I'd hate to be predictable. His hand lingered near her face. For a moment, Nina thought he might kiss her. Really kiss her, not the impersonal peck from the wedding. And for a moment, she thought she might let him. Then he stepped back. Get some rest. Tomorrow starts early. Nina returned to her room, her heart pounding. That moment, that almost kiss, it had felt real, not part of their arrangement, not part of the act. Which was dangerous in a completely different way. Thank you for watching. Would you dare a mafia boss to save your family? Or would you run before the vows? Could you survive a marriage built on danger, power, and defiance? Comment where you're watching from and what you'd do. Subscribe for the next chapter. It's only getting darker.